First inflation, now tariffs. Low-income Americans can't catch a break. Let's dive into it. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Frank Talks Money. Real quick guys, you know what it is. Please smash that like button. The more likes the video receives, the more the algorithm will share the video with more like-minded people like you and me. Now let's get right into the content. Guys, inflation has hammered low-income Americans, and now tariffs are going to further hammer low-income Americans. Low-income households who spend a large share of their budgets on goods than the wealthy and tend to favor cheaper imports will bear the brunt of the tariffs. Economists from Bank of America expect the February Consumer Price Index report due out Wednesday to show early signs of the impact from tariffs. In particular, the additional levies on items like furnishings, clothing, electronics coming from China. Most of the impact on goods prices will be felt in the months to come, especially necessities like groceries, gasoline, and electricity. From levies on imports from Canada, Mexico, and China are already taking an effect on those in the coming weeks. Retailers like Target Corporation and Best Buy Company are warning of higher prices due to tariffs. Tariffs are helping push long-term inflation expectations to an almost 30-year high. Guys, if you're still here, smash the like button for me, please. Guys, if you're still here, smash that like button. Guys, tariffs are just going to have a devastating effect on lower income Americans and also undoubtedly middle income Americans. Because as we know, those are the individuals that are being hit the hardest by inflation. Lower income Americans and middle class Americans are being hit hard by inflation, the price and cost of living, and now you add tariffs to the mix. It's going to be a recipe for disaster. Like I've been talking to family about this, friends about this, and one thing we got to understand is that the first time Trump was in office in 2016 through 2020, when he levied tariffs, then, we did not have the higher cost of living and inflation that we are enduring right now. Now you add tariffs on top of inflation, it's going to be devastating for broke Americans. It's just that simple, guys. There's no other way to put it. It's going to be devastating for broke and lower income Americans. Undoubtedly, you're going to have larger impact on the lower income consumer who's already been struggling with inflation and elevated interest rates and cost of goods. This is going to set them back even further. So economists are already saying it's going to set Americans back even further dealing with this, guys. Target's chief executive officer Brian Cornell told CNBC last week that the company has done a lot of scenario planning on goods like fruits and vegetables, a significant amount of which comes from Mexico during the winter, he said. We're going to try to make sure we can do everything we can to protect pricing, Cornell said. But if there's a 25% tariff, the prices will go up. So there you have it right there, guys. Saying right there, if there's a tariff, if tariffs are levied, prices are going to go up. There is no way around it. The tariff, the price of the tariff is going to get passed on to the consumer like everything else. The consumer always gets the brunt, the cost always gets passed on to the consumer. It's always been going on and it's going to continue to go on. The tariff is going to get turned over to the customer, and the customer is going to get the brunt of the tariff increase. Always, the customer always is going to get the short end of the stick. Walmart and Company CEO Doug McMillon said last month that the world's largest retailer is seeing stretched behaviors among budget-conscious shoppers as they contend with high food prices. The retailer has asked some Chinese suppliers, including producers of kitchenware and clothing, to lower their prices by as much as 10% per round of tariffs. With consumers spending generally slowing, businesses have recently reported increased price sensitivity for discretionary items, particularly among lower income shoppers, per the Federal Reserve. We're looking at something that isn't just a trade tool to settle a trade dispute, it's becoming a consumption tax. And consumption taxes are incredibly regressive. It's proportionately a lot heavier on the lower income families. Even before tariffs started making headlines, some Americans were already making tough choices. Robert Sanchez, a 56-year-old resident of the Bronx of New York, was out of work for 5 years until October due to health issues. Now Sanchez, who works as a clinical interviewer at a kidney research program, still says he has zero savings and considers himself to be a working poor person. In recent months, he's opted for turkey or chicken rather than pricier red meat and is buying smaller bags of rice when he goes to the grocery store. Sanchez worries about prices of items like coffee and plantains that are imported. I think we get paid just enough money to take care of our needs, and sometimes we have to sacrifice on that as well. So guys, undoubtedly, tariffs are going to have a major impact on lower income Americans and middle income Americans. Guys, the only advice that I can give each and every one of you is to get your income up. I know the job market is getting tight also, but guys, at this point in time, you have to do what you got to do. If you got to work a gig job, Uber, drive and live, you got to do what you got to do. If you got to take on a second part-time job, guys, you got to do what you got to do. You have to do what you have to do to take care of yourself and your families. But the main thing I want to stress, if you lower income, you have to get your income up, guys. That's the only thing that is going to help you during times of financial stress. You have to increase your income. You have to figure out a way, get creative, and get your income up. If you got to work a second job for a little bit, you have to work a second job for a little bit. One thing you cannot afford to do is to just stand by and do nothing. If you stand by and do nothing, your situation will not change. So guys, that's my quick talk I wanted to have with you guys on tariffs and how tariffs will affect lower income Americans. Please guys, remember to like the video, share the video, and most important, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, Frank Talks Money. And with that guys, always remember, financial decisions you make today will impact your financial life tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Frank Talks Money. I am